color got the kind of love you're giving me today. If we got that all over this country, we could change the world. I am so deeply honored to be here and to be one of your grand marshals this year for Pride. And when I was asked to be one of the grand marshals, I immediately thought about 45 years since Stonewall. We should make some noise for 45 years. 45 years of the fight, and the fight is not over. We have accomplished so much as an LGBT community, but we have so much more work to do. I couldn't help but think of Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson. I couldn't help but think of Miss Major, trans women of color, who were at the Stonewall riots 45 years ago. And a lot of folks, I realized recently that a lot of folks don't know that when Stonewall would be raided by the police, that all of the patrons would be lined up. And if you were not wearing 3 articles of clothing associated with the gender you were assigned at birth, you were arrested because cross-dressing was illegal at the time. So Stonewall was about loving who you want to love, but it was also about identifying in terms of the gender that you felt that you were. And so being trans and gender non-conforming was criminalized, and 45 years later, it is still being criminalized in every part of this country, really. Right here in New York State, we don't have statewide protections against discrimination against gender expression and identity. We need to pass gender here in New York State. Yes, we do. In Arizona, there's a law called manifesting prostitution. A young woman named Monica Jones, an African-American transgender woman, was arrested for walking while trans, walking down the street in a certain neighborhood, dressed a certain way, and she was arrested just because she was transgender and a woman in this neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona. That happened a few months ago, and she was convicted of this charge. We gotta send Monica love, and we gotta send her support, and we have to send a message to Phoenix, Arizona. We gotta send a message that shit is not acceptable. I want us to celebrate Pride, and I want us to feel proud and to love ourselves. I've struggled with loving myself as a Black transgender woman from a working class background, raised by a single mother. I have struggled to love myself and believe that I am worthy of love and belonging. But I believe that today, and I want each and every one of you to believe that about yourselves. And I also want us to remember the legacy of people like Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson as we celebrate Pride this year. And 41 years ago, Sylvia Rivera had to fight her way on to the stage of the rally of the gay liberation movement that year. In 1973, she had to fight her way onto the stage for a movement that she helped start. And she warned us 41 years ago of becoming a community and a movement that just existed for middle-class white people. 41 years ago. So as we celebrate Pride, as we celebrate loving ourselves and being who we know we are authentically, we need to remember those who are the most oppressed in our community, people of color, working class people. We gotta stand up for them. We gotta stand up for them. I want to say thank you so much for all the love. I want to say happy Pride 2014. And I want to tell you to keep lifting your voices. Keep letting your voices be heard and letting your stories be heard, because the fight is not over. The fight is not over. The fight is not over. Happy Pride, everybody. I love you.